Hey y'all, it's John Trent from Bounding into Comics, and I've got some MCU news for you today. A new rumor indicates that Marvel Studios has greenlit 2 new TV series for Disney+. But before we get into it, I'd like to ask if you could please hit the subscribe button. It helps us ensure more people can see our videos and helps us combat Google and YouTube manipulating their algorithms to favor major corporations at the expense of the small guy. So if you could please hit that subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciative. Thank you. And we want to see more folks seeing this video. So hit that subscribe button and we'll be able to help more people do that. So thank you again. But let's get into this. The rumor comes from Rich Johnston over at Bleeding Cool. He reports that the first show will be based on Brian Michael Bendis and Leinil Francis Yu's Secret Invasion storyline. That story saw the Skrulls, led by Queen Varanki, impersonate a number of Marvel's top heroes, including Spider-Woman and Elektra, as they plan to invade and conquer Earth, making it their new home after Galactus the World Eater consumed the Skrull throne world, which was their home planet. The report indicates the TV show will reportedly tie in with Captain Marvel, which first introduced the Skrulls into the MCU and as well as future Captain Marvel movies. However, the Skrulls were also featured in Spider-Man Far From Home, as it was revealed at the end of the film that they were impersonating Nick Fury and Maria Hill at the behest of the real Nick Fury. Those Skrulls, which one of them was Talos, played by Ben Mendelsohn, were previously refugees in the Captain Marvel film, and they end up working with Fury, as we see the end credit scene in Spider-Man Far From Home, where he's kind of on a space station, and he's communicating with them via some kind of satellite communication, cell communication. And in that end credit scene, we see Fury. He's kind of in this space station, with speculation believing that that space station is actually Sword's orbital headquarters, which is called the Peak in the comics. So what's interesting about this rumor is that it looks like we're going to see some potentially evil Skrulls. We haven't really seen any evil Skrulls in the MCU so far. All we've seen are friendly Skrulls, which is radically different from how they're portrayed in the comics. They're usually always bad guys. But Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige indicated that there are different factions within the Skrull race. So it's quite possible there are more militant Skrulls outside of Ben Mendelsohn's Talos and his family that were being held in Mar-Vell's ship in orbit orbiting around Earth. Feige told Cinema Blend, quote, "People have asked, oh, so are they all good? And I'm like, is anybody all good? So that's part of becoming dimensionalized characters. The capacity for them to be bad is still very much out there, as it is, for better, for worse, for all of us." As for Sword, we already know the organization is expected to show up in the upcoming WandaVision show outside of that space station in speculation. We got a leaked set photo from WandaVision, courtesy of Just Jared, that shows a guard standing outside of a building with Sword logos behind him. Across his bulletproof vest, it also reads Sword. In the comics, the organization stands for Sentient World Observation and Response Department. It was first introduced in Astonishing X-Men number 6 by Joss Whedon and John Cassidy. It acted as a counterterrorism and intelligence agency and was originally an offshoot of S.H.I.E.L.D. However, its main purpose was to deal with extraterrestrial threats. So this isn't the first time we've kind of heard a rumor about possible Sword connection. Especially with Disney Plus. We had a rumor back in December about a Sword Disney Plus show that originated from 4chan. That rumor indicated the series was going to introduce us to Thanos' progeny in Supergiant and Thane, with an Inhuman named Victor Cole as the main protagonist. Now, this rumor was very detailed, so it's highly likely that there might not be a lot of truth to it. It indicated that the Vikings actress Catherine Winnick, Gotham's Cameron Monaghan, and X-Men First Class's Nicholas Hoult would be starring in the show alongside a number of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actors who would be reprising their roles in some small cameos. As for actually Marvel Studios wanting to adapt Secret Invasion, I think it's going to be quite difficult to pull off given the events of Captain Marvel. That movie obviously introduced the Skrulls, and we now know that Nick Fury is aware of them, especially after he was aware of them in Captain Marvel, and then he's fully aware and even cooperating with them now at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. So if we know anything about Nick Fury, he's already planning for these people to betray him, or he has gotten some information from Ben Mendelsohn's Talos that they're not all nice Skrulls. So he would already be trying to come up with some kind of contingency plan to deal with this race of aliens that can shapeshift and turn into the heroes of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he would want to figure out a way to prevent that from happening, I would think. And we already saw that he had already created contingency plans in Captain America: The Winter Soldier when he was having to deal with infiltration of Hydra. So that is part of his character. He's always thinking like 2 steps ahead and is trying to protect Earth to the best of his abilities. Not only, though, is he dealing with shapeshifters, but we also know that Mysterio is on Earth as well, and he's a master illusionist. So there's obviously the Marvel Cinematic Universe has this threat of people kind of taking other people's identities. So you would think that Fury would be on top of trying to prevent that. I also think that it would be kind of hard to do this given the fact that we don't really have a motivation for the Skrulls to attack Earth. Obviously, they could introduce that in this TV series. One way I think they could do it is that Captain Marvel is now kind of protecting Earth, so they see this like Kree warrior protecting Earth, and they might see Earth as like an ally of the Kree and decide to attack it as part of the Skrull-Kree war. Although it's unclear what actually happened in that, because at the end of Avengers Endgame, it seemed like Captain Marvel was kind of acting as a galactic police officer and kind of had dealt with the Kree-Skrull war. We didn't really get a lot of that storyline wasn't really wrapped up, so we don't really know what's going on. So I could see them doing that if the Kree-Skrull war is still happening in the MCU. Although I still think that's kind of nowhere near the level of motivation of wanting to find a home planet after Galactus destroyed your planet. I mean, that's a whole other level of motivation to find a new homeworld. And it would extremely motivate your people to want to participate in this. I definitely think it's going to be tricky. It's possible they could do an alternate timeline or dimension. But again, that has its own complexities to deal with as well. We're still reeling from the Avengers Endgame time travel explanation. There's multiple explanations. We're getting different explanations from the writers, from the directors. So who knows really how that works. I think they're going to probably have to explain that. Hopefully they do that in the Loki series. They might even do it with Scarlet Witch. We'll see. And then as for the second show, there really aren't any details on what it could be, except that it will be similar to the shows currently in development for Disney+. Specifically, it'll feature one of the main MCU characters. Johnston writes, quote, "A solo TV series starring one of the main characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I have been told to expect someone closer to Loki levels than, say, the Vision. Who could that be? Doctor Strange, Star-Lord, Baby Thanos? I don't know. I can't know everything," end quote. So basically it could be anything, but it does seem like they are working on developing a new show. You would think they would be already doing that. They really want to ramp up the Disney Plus streaming platform and get some like new fresh content and then content that you can that's going to keep coming in order to compete with the other streaming services such as Netflix and then the upcoming HBO Max and NBC's Peacock. It's a horrible name for a streaming service. But I think maybe like just random speculation out here, I'm just kind of throwing out some ideas. Black Widow, we could see a Black Widow miniseries. That kind of makes the most sense to me, given we're going to get this Black Widow movie. I'm thinking maybe we see Florence Pugh's character kind of take the role, and we get to see her inserted into the MCU proper rather than what we're going to get in the Black Widow film, which is kind of in the past and we kind of maybe see her in the present and what she's up to now. If she survives the Black Widow film, who knows what's going to happen there. If they wanted to do a fan pleaser, and this is kind of just me saying what I would like to have, I'd love to see a Ghost Rider series, or at least something that delves into the supernatural of the MCU. Something that we haven't seen at all. I know we're going to get Moon Knight, and that obviously is going to deal with supernatural, and we're getting the Blade film. But I would love to see Ghost Rider, especially. Ghost Rider is just, he's unique. And that's just, like, he's just really, really cool, too. Like, he's a dude who rides on a motorcycle, uses a chain whip, and he's got a flaming skull. Like, does it get any cooler than that? But what do y'all make of this new rumor? Are you interested in seeing a Secret Invasion TV series? What do you think this other mystery series could be? Do you have any wishes or wants? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, and I would hope that you would share this as well with your friends. My name is John Trent, and you've been watching Bounding into Comics. Until next time.